Just when the streets had started to quiet down after his tragic death, new footage surfaced, raw, unfiltered, and chilling. The last known recordings of King Von on the ground have just leaked, and they're shaking up the internet all over again. The clip, reportedly captured moments after gunfire broke out, gives a whole new perspective on those final seconds. For fans, it's reopening wounds. For those closest to Von, it's a haunting reminder of how fast everything changed. But what's in the video has people asking one thing. Why was this hidden until now? What you're about to discover might just change how you remember that night. The final moments, what really happened. When the news broke on November 6, 2020, that rising Chicago drill star King Von had been killed in Atlanta, the hip-hop world stood still. The tragic death of David Daquan Bennett, better known to fans as King Von, sent shockwaves through the music industry and left fans devastated. But what exactly happened outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta? Today, we're diving deep into the footage, testimonies, and the controversial aftermath of one of hip-hop's most tragic losses. The events of November 6th have been pieced together through surveillance videos, witness accounts, and police reports. King Von had been at Opium nightclub earlier that evening before heading to Monaco Hookah Lounge on Trinity Avenue. It was between 3:20 and 4 a.m. when everything changed. What makes this case particularly complex is the pre-existing tension between rival groups. Von was affiliated with Lil Durk's Only the Family label. Also present that night, Quando Rondo, who had ties to NBA YoungBoy's crew. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, what started as a verbal altercation quickly turned physical and then fatal. Surveillance footage shows Von in all white, punching another man believed to be Quando Rondo, although this wasn't confirmed by police. That fight escalated quickly. Hands were thrown. Then someone pulled out and started shooting. 6 people were shot. King Von and another man, 34-year-old Mark Blakely from Chicago, both lost their lives. 3 others were wounded and rushed to the hospital. Initially, early reports claimed 3 people had died. That confusion only fueled rumors. The actual moment of the shooting was caught on video. TMZ later posted the footage, showing the scuffle and the chaos afterward. Von is seen being carried into a car that sped off to the hospital. This footage ignited endless online debates. Quando Rondo, real name Tyquan Terrell Bowman, claimed he was napping in a car when Von's crew arrived. Von reportedly approached aggressively, initiating a physical confrontation. Here's Quando Rondo in his own words during an interview with Angela Yee. "I was in the car chillin'. Next thing I know, I'm getting hit. That's it." That's when Timothy Leaks, aka Lil Tim, an associate of Quando, entered the picture. He allegedly fired the shots that killed King Von. Here's what Lil Tim had to say about his actions. "I'm a protective person. If anybody messing with my people, I'm going to protect them regardless." That narrative of loyalty, not malice, might explain why charges against him were eventually dropped. As the fight turned deadly, firearms came out. A total of 6 people were shot. Von was among them. Early rumors said police might have shot Von, but Atlanta PD clarified he was hit before they arrived. Von was rushed to the hospital by his crew, but didn't survive. The next day, Timothy Leaks was arrested and charged with felony murder. Just days earlier, Von had been in high spirits. He'd just dropped his debut album, Welcome to O'Block, on October 30th. Here's a brief clip of Von just days before the tragedy. "King bro, what's going on? How we doing?" That clip now feels haunting, knowing how close it was to the end. In August 2023, the murder charge against Lil Tim was dismissed. The reason? The case never made it to indictment. Leaks' attorney confirmed the charges were dropped, though details weren't public. Legal experts speculate Georgia's Stand Your Ground law might have played a role. Fans of King Von were outraged. Many felt justice was denied. To understand this tragedy, you need to look at the deeper feud between Lil Durk's OTF and NBA YoungBoy's 4KT. This beef didn't happen overnight. It built up through personal drama, professional competition, and gang affiliations. Asian. Doll, previously linked to Von, also had ties to YoungBoy. Another woman, Jania, dated both sides too. Rejections, insults, and missed collaborations fueled the tension further. Von repped O'Block and had ties to the Black Disciples. NBA YoungBoy's crew had rival gang affiliations. Let me know when you're ready for part 2, and I'll dive into Von's final interviews, legacy, alleged retaliation, and the future of O'Block. Media debates, cryptic tweets, and silent looks from those closest to the case. Young Dolph's murder didn't just shake Memphis, It echoed through the entire hip-hop world. What started as a routine visit to his favorite cookie shop in his hometown turned into a deadly ambush that fans, bloggers, and conspiracy theorists still haven't stopped dissecting. But now, nearly 4 years later, the question still burns. Was young Dolph set up? And if so, by who? Narrator, VO. From the moment news broke of Dolph's assassination at Makita's Cookies, fans began unraveling theories faster than the authorities could hold press conferences. Was this just another senseless shooting, or a carefully orchestrated hit masked by routine? Some pointed fingers at Memphis street politics, while others looked toward rap industry rivalries. On Reddit, hundreds of posts dissect surveillance footage, social media behavior, and even Dolph's own lyrics. One recurring theory claims the location of the shooting was a message, a setup disguised as a homecoming. Narrator, VO. One viral thread suggested that Dolph's movements were being tracked. Days before the hit, he'd posted his location and whereabouts openly. Was that a mistake? Or was someone close to him leaking his every step? Some fans believe the killers didn't just know where he was, they knew why he was there. The theory? That someone in his inner circle knew his routine and handed it over. Another theory, even more controversial, claims that rival rapper Yo Gotti's camp might have been involved, a narrative fueled by their long-standing beef, diss tracks, and a history of near-violent run-ins. Despite Yo Gotti's public denial, and no legal charges connecting him to the case, fans dug up a 2017 shooting outside a hotel Dolph was staying at, an incident for which Gotti's associate was arrested but later released. Narrator, VO. The most divisive theory, though, revolves around Dolph's own Paper Route Empire team. Some speculate that Dolph's rapid rise, ownership of masters, and independence made him a threat, even to those close. People questioned why there were no bodyguards with him that day. No security, no team, just Dolph. Reddit and X, formerly Twitter users, dissected surveillance footage, questioning the delayed police response and the quickness of the hit. It felt too clean, too professional, too premeditated. Narrator, VO. In January 2023, arrests were made. 2 suspects, Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith, were charged with first-degree murder. But just as the dust began to settle, a third man, Shundale Barnett, was arrested, then mysteriously released, sparking fresh conspiracies. According to legal documents, Johnson had ties to Memphis rap scenes, even appearing in music videos before Dolph's death. That's all it took for fans to cry, industry setup. Some claim the suspects were fall guys, used to cover up a broader scheme. Others point to possible federal ties and sealed documents that have yet to be released to the public. Narrator, VO. But beyond the conspiracies lies Dolph's legacy, a voice of independence, hustle, and unapologetic truth-telling. According to longtime producer Bandplay, young Dolph had over 250 unreleased tracks at the time of his death. Material for at least 6 full albums. The leaks started pouring in shortly after his passing. SoundCloud, Reddit, and Telegram groups became hubs for trading and rating Dolph's unreleased songs. Titles like Glock Season, Major 2, Death Before Dishonor, and Band-Aid, a rumored diss track, became underground hits. Fans view these leaks as more than just music. They're clues. They dissect lyrics, searching for hidden messages about betrayal, street politics, and paranoia. Narrator, VO. In March 2024, his estate released the posthumous album Paper Route Forever, which debuted with 8 tracks, only half of what was teased. Some fans were upset, accusing his estate of gatekeeping music, while others applauded them for protecting Dolph's legacy from exploitation. A leak in January 2025 sparked fresh debate. A track titled Dead Men Talking allegedly contained references to street beefs and betrayals that hadn't been publicly known before the murder. The source of the leak? Still unknown. Narrator, VO. The industry response has been mixed. Some artists like Key Glock and Gucci Mane have remained vocal about Dolph's influence, calling for justice and transparency, but others, particularly those once affiliated with Dolph, have stayed silent. That silence has become a conspiracy in itself. In a Vlad TV interview from November 2024, Dolph's cousin hinted that some people who mourned the loudest were the ones who knew the most. The clip went viral, reigniting suspicions. Narrator, VO. Was young Dolph set up by his enemies? Betrayed by someone close? Or was his murder simply the tragic result of an unresolved beef that spiraled out of control? The truth remains tangled in silence, speculation, and sealed court files. But what's certain is this: young Dolph's legacy lives on, through his music, through his message, and through every fan who refuses to let his story be forgotten. As new trials approach and more music leaks, the fight for Dolph's truth continues. Narrator, VO. If you made it this far, you know this isn't just about hip-hop. It's about loyalty, power, betrayal, and the cost of independence. Click the card on your screen to dive deeper into the next unsolved story from the streets of hip-hop. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exclusive breakdowns. R.I.P. Dolph. Long live the king. All magnetic personalities hip-hop had seen in years. King Von's death in November 2020 left a crater in the drill scene. And 5 years later, that crater has only grown deeper as fans, critics, and even the legal system continue to grapple with his legacy, his lyrics, and the secrets he may have taken to the grave. But beneath the violent headlines and viral moments lies a more complex story of talent, betrayal, street politics, and unfinished business. This is King Von, the legacy, the leaks, and the lawsuits. Narrator, VO. Born Davon Bennett, King Von grew up in Parkway Gardens, aka O Block, an area that birthed its own mythology within Chicago's drill music world. He wasn't just rapping about the trenches, he lived them. At just 16, Von was already facing serious legal charges. But by the time he was released in 2017, his focus shifted. With the encouragement of fellow OTF member Lil Durk, Von started recording music, and what came out was electrifying. His 2018 breakout track, Crazy Story, didn't just go viral. It changed everything. Listeners were hooked by the vivid detail, the plot twists, and Von's almost cinematic delivery. Von wasn't just a rapper, he was a narrator. He gave voices to characters, some fictional, some very real, and painted grim realities with thrilling clarity. Narrator, VO. By the time Welcome to O Block dropped in October 2020, Von had become one of the most talked about new artists in the game. The album charted, critics praised its rawness, and the industry began to take serious notice. But there were shadows behind the success. Von's lyrics often blurred the line between music and confession, and fans knew it. They dissected every bar, linking real-life names, street beefs, and past crimes to Von's catalog. In interviews, he played coy. In lyrics, he was fearless. That duality between mystery and transparency became part of his allure. Narrator, VO. On November 6, 2020, outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, chaos erupted. A fistfight between Von and Quando Rondo escalated into a shootout. In the midst of the melee, Von was shot multiple times. Surveillance footage showed confusion, close-range shots, and people scattering in seconds. Von died shortly after at the hospital. The man accused of pulling the trigger was Timothy Leaks, aka Lul Tim, a known affiliate of Quando Rondo. And just like that, King Von was gone at just 26 years old. Narrator, VO. The days following his death were chaotic. Tributes poured in from artists, fans, and labels. But the streets had a different energy. Accusations, disses, and revenge rumors spread fast. Social media became a war zone of speculation and coded messages. Quando Rondo's shows were canceled due to threats. Lil Durk, Von's closest collaborator, went silent, only to later pour his grief into verses on Backdoor and Still Trappin'. Fans saw it as a message, a cry of mourning, or a call for vengeance. Narrator, VO. What shocked fans even more were the leaks. Within months of Von's death, dozens of unreleased tracks started popping up online. Some were studio-ready, others were voice memos, demos, and rough freestyles. Telegram groups, Reddit threads, and Discord servers became digital archives. For this treasure trove of material, fans cataloged everything, speculating on features, intended albums, and hidden meanings. Tracks like Get It Back in Blood 2, Secrets of O Block, and Code of the Streets became cult hits. Some even claimed Von had predicted his own death, pointing to lyrics like, "Ain't no happy endings for none muns like me. Just the funeral, candlelights, and memory." His catalog was expanding, even in death. Narrator, VO. King Von left behind more than just music. He left an empire in flux. His estate, controlled by his mother and legal representatives, began sorting through contracts, masters, and deals. But controversy wasn't far behind. A dispute erupted over who had the rights to release Vaughn's music and who was profiting from it. Some fans blamed his label Only the Family, OTF, while others pointed fingers at Empire Records. A posthumous album, Grandson, dropped in 2023, but fans accused it of being overproduced and not true to Vaughn's raw style. Rumors swirled about tracks being edited without his consent, changing lyrics, removing features, or altering the original beat. Narrator, VO. In 2019, Lil Durk and King Von were arrested in connection to a shooting and robbery in Atlanta. Prosecutors claimed both men were seen on surveillance footage and accused them of stealing thousands of dollars in a vehicle. Von died before the trial could begin. But for Lil Durk, that trial is now just months away. Set for October 2025, the case could reshape the narrative around Vaughn's legal history and Durk's future. Key evidence includes security footage, ballistic analysis, and testimonies from eyewitnesses. But what's most controversial? A set of alleged wiretaps from OTF associates discussing case strategy, some of which were leaked online earlier. This year, fans fear a repeat of the YSL RICO wave. Others believe Durk's legal team will prove his innocence. Narrator, VO. What haunts many fans is the silence. Artists who once called Vaughn family have been noticeably quiet, especially as leaks reveal names that were once associated with OTF or other street figures. In a January 2025 interview, an ex-OTF engineer hinted that some tracks weren't meant to see daylight. Vaughn had enemies in the industry too. That line went viral, and it raised questions. Was Vaughn's death just a street beef gone wrong, or were industry politics at play? Some believe Vaughn's rapid rise and refusal to play the game rubbed the wrong people the wrong way. Narrator, VO. In his absence, a new class of rappers have emerged, many openly citing Vaughn as their biggest influence. Artists like PGF Nuke, Lil Zay Osama, and even New York's Shaw EK have adopted Vaughn's narrative-driven style, but none have truly filled the void. His detail, his intensity, and his ability to turn violence into visual poetry remain unmatched. Narrator, VO. As we approach 5 years since his death, the mystery around Vaughn hasn't faded. It's only deepened. Will more unreleased music come out? Will Lil Durk's trial reveal new truths? Will justice be served? Or will questions remain unanswered? What's clear is this. King Von left behind more than just a discography. He left a movement. His songs are still played in clubs, car rides, and courtrooms. His lyrics are studied like street scripture. His memory remains immortal, not just in hip-hop, but in the culture he helped shape. Narrator, VO. If you made it this far, you already know. This story is far from over. We'll keep covering the ongoing legal battles, the leaked music, and the whispers in the industry. Because King Von's legacy isn't just a past to remember, it's a future still unfolding. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exclusive deep dives from the world of hip-hop. And rest in peace to a real one. Long live King Von. Let me know if you'd like this converted into teleprompter format, PDF, or split into time-coded video segments. His songs are still played in clubs, car rides, headphones, and yes, even courtrooms. His lyrics are studied like street scripture, not just for the drama or the stories, but for the raw truth they carried. Truths most people wouldn't dare speak out loud. Every bar was a memory. Every verse was a message. And every beat Von touched became a portal into the mind of a young man navigating life, loyalty, and death, all while trying to outrun the fate that chased so many before him. His memory hasn't faded, it's evolved. Immortalized not just in hip-hop history, but in the very streets he spoke about, the people he touched, and the culture he helped redefine. Narrator, VO. If you made it this far, then you already know. This story isn't over, not even close. There are still leaks dropping, still court cases pending, still questions hanging in the air like smoke from a scene that never got cleaned up. Every month, a new clue surfaces. A lyric, a leaked track, a tweet, a whisper from someone who knew more than they let on. And as long as the truth stays buried, we'll keep digging. As long as his name rings out, we'll keep listening. And as long as there's more to uncover, we'll keep telling this story, piece by piece. Because King Von's legacy isn't just something we reflect on, it's something we live with, something that continues to shape the culture, the music, and the movement he helped ignite. So if you believe in real storytelling, in real voices, and in truth that can't be silenced, stick with us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. For more exclusive deep dives into the world of hip-hop, street history, and the untold stories the industry doesn't want you to hear. And above all, rest in power to a real one. Davon Daquan Bennett. King Von. Long live the voice of O-Block. Long live the storyteller. Long live King Von. It's something we reflect on. It's something we live with. It's in the way we talk about the streets. It's in the way we respect the code. It's in the way young artists tell their truths. Unfiltered, unflinching, and unapologetic. Von didn't just change the sound, he changed the standard. He made storytelling cool again. He reminded the world that pain, struggle, loyalty, and betrayal weren't just rap topics, they were real-life scars with real-life consequences. Every verse he spit carried the weight of generations. Every bar was a timestamp of where he came from, what he survived, and what he feared might be coming next. And even in death, his voice echoes louder than ever, because his music isn't just played,